The space station Horizon 9 hung in the dark like a metal star. Inside, Lieutenant Ji-Soo Kim sat alone in the small comm room, her eyes fixed on the screen before her. It was late in the station's night cycle. Most other humans were asleep. Ji-Soo was not supposed to be here. But the strange signals kept her awake at night. Something in them called to her. "Show me the pattern again," she said to her computer. The screen lit up with waves of data. To most people, they looked like random noise from deep space. But Ji-Soo knew better. She had been tracking these signals for weeks. At first, they seemed like normal space static. Then she noticed tiny breaks in the pattern. Too regular to be random. Too hidden to be noticed by the automatic systems. Ji-Soo pushed her short black hair away from her face and leaned closer. Her fingers tapped quickly on the screen, pulling apart layers of the signal. "There you are," she whispered as a new pattern emerged. The computer showed a series of dots and lines that looked almost like very old Earth code, but not quite. The door to the comm room slid open with a soft hiss. Ji-Soo quickly switched her screen to show normal station traffic. Captain Topark walked in, his face tired but his uniform perfect. He was older than Ji-Soo by about 15 years, with streaks of gray in his hair. "Lieutenant Kim, working late again?" he asked, his voice calm, but his eyes sharp. Ji-Soo stood up straight. "Yes, sir. Just checking some odd readings in Sector 12. Captain Ta walked closer, looking at her screen. "Sector 12 is empty space. What could be interesting there?" "Probably nothing, sir. Just being careful." Tae's eyes narrowed slightly. "The Jackal ambassadors were asking about you today." Ji-Soo felt a cold feeling in her stomach. The Jackals, tall, wolf-like aliens with golden eyes, ruled most of known space. Humans were just one of many species under their power. They called themselves the Narakthai, but humans had named them Jackals for their looks and nature. "Why would they ask about me?" Ji-Soo kept her voice steady. "They notice patterns too, Lieutenant. They say you access the deep space arrays more than your job requires." Ta leaned against the desk. "They watch us all the time. You know that." Ji-Soo nodded. "I'm just doing my job, sir." "Are you?" Ta looked at her screen again. "The Jackals don't like humans who ask too many questions. They let us have this station because we stay useful and quiet." "I understand, sir." Ta sighed. "Go to bed, Lieutenant. That's an order. Whatever you're looking for can wait until tomorrow." After he left, Ji-Soo waited 5 minutes before bringing her real work back on screen. She knew she should listen to the captain, but the signal was getting stronger tonight. She sent a quick message to her friend Han, who worked in engineering. "Found something. Meet tomorrow. Usual place." As she worked, one of the screens to her left flashed. The station's sensors showed a Jackal ship docking. Not scheduled. Not announced. Ji-Soo quickly saved her work to a small personal drive and cleared the system. As she left the comm room, she saw them. 3 Jackals in their sleek black uniforms, walking down the main corridor. The tallest one turned his golden eyes toward her as she passed. She kept her face blank, but her heart raced. Did they know? Could they somehow hear the discovery she had whispered to herself in an empty room? Ji-Soo walked calmly to her quarters, the data drive hidden in her palm. The coordinates she had partly decoded pointed to something ancient and powerful, something that could change everything. Tomorrow, she would tell Han. Together, they would find out what waited at those coordinates. She just needed to be careful. The Jackals were listening. The maintenance room on level 3 was small and filled with tools. Han Sung liked it that way. Few people came here, which made it perfect for secret meetings. Han checked his watch again. Ji-Soo was late, which was not like her. He was about to leave when the door slid open, and she rushed in. "Sorry," Ji-Soo said, looking over her shoulder. "I had to take a longer path. The Jackals are everywhere today." Han nodded. He was shorter than Ji-Soo, but strong from years of fixing the station's heavy equipment. His hands were always stained with engine oil. What did you find? He asked. Jisoo pulled out her data drive and plugged it into Han's tablet. Look at this. I found it hidden in deep space noise. Han studied the screen. His eyes grew wide. These are coordinates. Yes, but there's more. Jisoo's fingers moved across the screen, pulling apart the layers of the signal. See this part? It's a message. I can only understand bits of it, but it talks about something called the heart of stars. What is that? I think it's some kind of very old technology. From the predecessors. Han looked up sharply. Everyone knew about the predecessors, the race that had lived in the galaxy long before any current species. They had disappeared thousands of years ago, leaving only ruins and stories. The Jackals say the predecessors are just myths, Han said quietly. The Jackals lie. Jisoo leaned closer. This signal says there's a predecessor artifact at these coordinates. Something powerful. Han put down the tablet. Jisoo, this is dangerous. If the Jackals find out, they will use it to control us forever. Jisoo's eyes were bright with determination. But if we find it first, maybe we can change things. Han looked at his friend's face and knew she would not give up. He sighed. We would need a ship and permission to leave the station. Jisoo smiled. I don't need permission. I need access to the main communication array to finish decoding the signal. Can you get me in during your next maintenance cycle? Han thought for a moment. Yes, but you'll only have 30 minutes before the systems come back online. That's enough. 3 days later, Jisoo stood inside the huge chamber that housed Horizon 9's main communication array. The room hummed with power. This system was much stronger than the small terminal in the comm room. Han worked on a panel nearby, keeping the security systems offline. Hurry, he said. 25 minutes left. Jisoo connected her data drive and sent the strange signal through the array's powerful systems. The computer worked much faster here. New patterns emerged on her screen. It's a station, she whispered as the data formed a clear image. A predecessor station, hidden in the shadow of a dying star. Han looked over her shoulder. Can you tell what's inside it? The signal says it holds the voice that changes minds. I don't know what that means. The screen suddenly showed more information, technical data about the station, its defenses, and its power systems. Jisoo downloaded everything as quickly as she could. Time's up, Han warned. As Jisoo unplugged her drive, a new message flashed on the screen. We wait for the worthy. Then the array went dark as Han restored the normal systems. We need to see this place, Jisoo said as they left the chamber. Han, could you get us a ship? Han gave her a nervous smile. The research vessel Sonamu is scheduled for a short test flight tomorrow. I could add our names to the crew list. Do it. Neither of them noticed the small camera in the corner of the room. Nor did they see Captain Ta watching them on his private screen, his hand already reaching for his secure line to the Jackal command ship. In his quarters, Jackal officer Sektaru received the human captain's message with interest. He smiled, showing sharp teeth. Let them lead us to it, he said to himself. The Sonamu was small for a research ship, but Jisoo thought it was perfect. Its white hull gleamed under the station lights as she and Han walked up the boarding ramp. Are you sure this will work? She asked, looking at the fake leave papers Han had made the night before. Han nodded, but his eyes showed worry. The system says we are going to check radiation levels in Sector 14. We have 3 days before anyone asks questions. Inside, the ship was clean and simple. It had a small bridge with 2 pilot seats, a tiny kitchen, sleeping areas for 4 people, and a research lab in the back. Han went straight to the controls. I packed food and extra fuel cells, he said as he started the engine. We should have enough for the trip. Jisoo sat in the second pilot's seat and opened her tablet. The coordinates point here, she said, showing Han a star map. It's a 6-hour flight if we use the jump drive. Han looked at the map and frowned. That's close to Jackal space. I know, but we'll be fast and quiet." The ship shook slightly as it moved away from the station. Jisoo watched through the window as Horizon 9 became smaller behind them. For the first time in years, she felt free. What she didn't see was the small black ship that left the station 30 minutes after them. Inside that ship, Jackal Officer Sektaru watched the Sonamu on his tracking screen. Sektaru was young for a Jackal Officer. His golden fur had fewer battle marks than most commanders, but his mind was sharp. He had been watching Jisoo for weeks, curious about her work with the strange signals. "Follow them," he told his pilot, "but stay out of their sensor range." The Jackal ship moved silently through space, like a shadow behind the Sonamu. 4 hours into their journey, Jisoo felt the ship jump out of faster-than-light travel. Han had set the controls to stop here, at the edge of an old star system. "Why are we stopping?" she asked. "I need to check the engine," Han said. "The jump drive was getting hot, and I want to make sure no one is following us." While Han worked on the engine, Jisoo looked at her data about the predecessor station. The signal had called it the Whisperer, a place where great knowledge was stored. If the information was right, the station had technology that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. "No ships on our sensors," Han said when he returned. "Engine looks good. We can continue." As they prepared to jump again, Jisoo thought about what they might find. Would it be a weapon, a shield, or something no one had ever seen before? The Sonamu jumped back into faster-than-light travel. 2 minutes later, Sektaru's ship did the same. "They don't know we're here," the Jackal told his crew. "Let them do the hard work of finding the station. Then we will take what they discover." Another Jackal, older with a scar across his face, looked worried. "Should we call for backup? If this is really predecessor technology?" "No," Sektaru said sharply. "If we call for help, Commander Rexus will take over. This discovery will be mine." Back on the Sonamu, Han checked the final approach to the coordinates. "We're almost there." Dropping out of jump in 3, 2, 1. The stars reappeared around them as the ship returned to normal space. Jisoo gasped at what she saw ahead. A massive metal ring floated in the shadow of a red dwarf star. It was at least a kilometer wide, covered in strange patterns that glowed with soft blue light. In the center of the ring was a sphere, connected to the outer ring by thin bridges. "The predecessor station," Jisoo whispered. "It's real." As Han moved the ship closer, lights began to appear across the station's surface, as if it was waking up after a long sleep. Behind them, hidden in the shadow of a small moon, Sektaru watched and waited. The Sonamu drifted slowly toward the giant ring station. Jisoo stared out the window, her eyes wide with wonder. The blue lights on the station's surface pulsed gently, like a heartbeat. "It's watching us," she said. Han checked the ship's sensors. No signs of danger, but I can't get good readings on what's inside. The station's outer layer blocks our scans. Jisoo pointed to a flat area on the sphere in the center. "That looks like a docking area. Can we land there?" Han carefully moved the ship closer. As they approached, a section of the station's surface slid open, revealing a landing bay. Soft lights came on inside, guiding their path. "It's inviting us in," Jisoo whispered. Han looked nervous. "Or it's a trap." After a moment of thought, Jisoo said, "We came all this way. We have to see what's inside." Han landed the ship inside the bay. The door closed behind them with barely a sound. The air outside the ship looked clear on their sensors. "Breathable atmosphere," Han said, surprised. "How is that possible after all this time?" "They put on light spacesuits anyway, just to be safe." Jisoo checked that her data drive was secure in her pocket. They stepped out of the ship onto the smooth floor of the landing bay. The inside of the station was clean and simple. No dust, no damage. It looked new, though it must be thousands of years old. "This way," Jisoo said, following a path of lights that appeared on the floor as they walked. The lights led them to a large round room in the center of the station. The walls were covered with strange symbols that glowed softly. In the middle of the room stood a round platform. "What do we do now?" Han asked. Before Jisoo could answer, the platform lit up. A beam of light shot upward, then formed into the shape of a person. It was a hologram of a tall, thin being with 4 arms and a face that looked almost human, but not quite. "Welcome," the hologram said in a voice that seemed to come from all around them. "You are the first visitors in 4,327 years." Jisoo stepped forward. "Who are you?" "I am the Keeper. This station contains the knowledge of those you call the predecessors." Han looked at the hologram with wonder. "The predecessors are real. What happened to them?" The hologram shifted, showing images of stars and strange energy patterns. "We did not die. We evolved. We left our physical forms behind and became energy beings. We now exist in the space between stars." Jisoo felt her heart race. "Why did you send the signal? Why call us here?" "We have watched the jackals spread across the stars," the Keeper said. "They take. They control. They do not understand balance." The hologram changed again, showing images of jackal ships attacking other worlds. Jisoo recognized some of the battles from history lessons: the fall of Earth's colonies, the surrender of humanity. "We left this station as a gift," the Keeper continued, "for those who would use knowledge rather than force." Han stepped closer to Jisoo. "What kind of knowledge?" The hologram waved one of its 4 arms. Part of the wall slid open, revealing a small device shaped like a star. It glowed with soft white light. "The voice," the Keeper said. "It can override any communication system. It can spread truth that cannot be blocked or stopped." Jisoo understood immediately. "With this, we could tell everyone in the galaxy what the jackals have done. Their lies would be exposed." The Keeper nodded. "Yes, but be warned. Others have followed you here." Suddenly, alarms sounded throughout the station. Han checked his portable scanner. Ships. Multiple ships dropping out of jump. Jackal ships. The hologram looked at Jisoo. "You must decide quickly. The voice can be used only once before it needs time to recharge. Use it wisely." Jisoo reached for the glowing star device. As her fingers touched it, images flooded her mind. Instructions, codes, warnings. "Han, we need to get back to the ship," she said urgently. "And we need to send a message first." Outside the station, 3 jackal warships appeared. On the bridge of the largest ship, Commander Raxus stood with his arms folded. Beside him was Captain Ta. "Find them," Raxus ordered, "and bring me what they've discovered." Jisoo and Han ran through the glowing corridors of the station. The voice device felt warm in Jisoo's pocket. Warning lights flashed all around them. "We need to get back to the ship," Han said, checking his scanner. "The station's outer doors are closing to protect itself." They turned a corner and froze. 3 jackals in black armor stood in their path, weapons aimed at them. Behind the jackals stood Captain Ta. "Hello, Lieutenant Kim," Ta said calmly. "I see you found something interesting." Jisoo felt cold with shock. "Captain, why are you here?" "Put down your weapons," one of the jackals ordered. Han slowly placed his small laser gun on the floor. "Take them to Commander Raxus," Ta told the jackals. The jackals led Jisoo and Han through the station to a large room where more jackals were setting up equipment. In the center stood a tall jackal with silver streaks in his golden fur. His eyes were cold as he looked at the humans. "Commander Raxus," Ta said with a small bow. "As promised, Lieutenant Kim and Engineer Sung." Raxus nodded. "Good work, Captain. The Confederacy will remember your help." Jisoo stared at Ta with anger in her eyes. "How long have you been working for them?" 8 years, Ta said. "Since they offered me a choice, help them or watch Horizon 9 be destroyed." "You're a traitor," Han said. Tae's face hardened. "I'm a survivor. The jackals are too strong to fight. Working with them is the only way humans can have any power." Raxus stepped closer to Jisoo. Where is it? Where is the predecessor technology you found? Jisoo said nothing. The voice device felt heavy in her pocket. Raxus signaled to his soldiers. Two of them grabbed Han and forced him to his knees. Tell me what you found, Raxus said to Jisoo, or your friend will suffer. Jisoo looked at Han, then at Ta. Captain, you can't let them do this. We're your people. The Jackals are my people now, Ta said, but his eyes wouldn't meet hers. One of the Jackals hit Han hard across the face. He fell to the floor with blood on his lip. Stop, Jisoo shouted. Then tell me what I want to know, Raxus demanded. Jisoo thought quickly. She needed time. The hologram had told her the voice needed proper setup to work at full power. It's a communication device, she said slowly. The predecessors left it to share knowledge. Raxus smiled, showing sharp teeth. See, cooperation makes things easier. Where is this device? In our ship, Jisoo lied. I can show you. Raxus nodded to his soldiers. Take her to their ship. Bring the device to me. As they led Jisoo away, she glanced back at Han. He was watching her with trust in his eyes despite his pain. He knew she had a plan. In another part of the station, Jackal Officer Sektaru moved quietly through the shadows. He had slipped away from his commander's group, curious about the strange energy readings from the center of the station. He paused when he heard Jisoo's voice through his communicator. The humans had been captured. Raxus would take the glory of the discovery, unless Sektaru found something first. On the Sonamu, Jisoo stood surrounded by jackal guards. She pretended to search for something that wasn't there. It's not here, she said, trying to sound confused. It must still be in the central chamber. The lead guard growled. If you're lying. I'm not, Jisoo said quickly. But I need to think. Let me send a message to my ship's computer. Maybe it recorded where we left it. The guard watched as Jisoo typed on the ship's console. What he didn't know was that she was actually sending an emergency signal, one that Han had programmed before they left Horizon 9. A call for help to someone they hoped would listen. Far away, on a hidden base among the asteroids, Admiral Sun Hwa received the signal. Her face grew serious as she read it. Prepare all ships, she ordered. We have friends in trouble, and maybe a chance to change everything. Jisoo walked slowly back to the central chamber, surrounded by jackal guards. Her mind worked quickly. The voice device was still hidden in her pocket. She needed to reach the main control panel to use it properly. When they entered the chamber, Raxus was studying the strange symbols on the walls. Han sat on the floor, his hands tied behind his back. His face was bruised, but his eyes lit up when he saw Jisoo. I couldn't find the device on the ship, Jisoo told Raxus. It must be here somewhere. Raxus growled. Search her. Before the guards could touch her, the hologram of the keeper appeared again. The jackal stepped back in surprise. More visitors. The keeper said calmly, You seek the voice. What is this? Raxus demanded, staring at the hologram. I am the keeper of this station, the hologram replied. The last memory of the predecessors. Raxus smiled. Then you will help us. Show us how to use the station's power. The station responds only to those who understand balance, the keeper said. You take without giving. You control without serving. You are not worthy. Raxus' face twisted with anger. I don't need your approval. My engineers will take this station apart piece by piece until we find what we want. While everyone focused on the hologram, Jisoo caught Han's eye and glanced toward the control panel across the room. Han nodded slightly, understanding her plan. Suddenly, Han fell to the side, groaning loudly in pain. The guards looked at him. In that moment, Jisoo whispered to the control panel in front of her, using words the keeper had put in her mind when she touched the voice device. The panel lit up with soft blue light. The station's systems recognized her voice pattern. What are you doing? Tai asked, noticing her whisper. Before she could answer, alarms sounded throughout the station. Commander, A jackal soldier ran into the room. Human ships. At least 20 of them just dropped out of jump. Raxus turned to Ta with fury in his eyes. You said the humans had no fleet in this sector. They don't, Ta said, looking confused. This must be a mistake. On the bridge of her flagship, Admiral Sun Hua watched the predecessor station through the main screen. Next to it were 3 jackal warships, much larger than her small fleet of converted cargo and mining ships. Weapons ready, she ordered. Target the smallest jackal ship first. Her crew worked quickly. They weren't real military, just ordinary humans who had decided to fight back against jackal rule. But they had trained hard for this day. Back on the station, Jisoo used the distraction to move closer to the main control panel. The voice device in her pocket grew warmer. It was connecting to the station's systems. Take the humans back to our ship, Raxus ordered his soldiers. Kill the male if the female resists. As a guard grabbed Han roughly, Sektaru appeared in the doorway. Commander, the human ships are attacking, and there's something strange happening with the station's power core. Raxus pointed at Jisoo. Watch her. She's done something. Jisoo took her chance. She pulled out the voice device and placed it on the control panel. It locked into place like it belonged there. A wave of blue light spread from it across the station. No, Raxus shouted. He fired his weapon at Jisoo. Han broke free from his guard and jumped in front of her. The laser blast hit him in the chest. He fell to the floor at Jisoo's feet. Han. Jisoo cried, dropping to her knees beside him. The voice device pulsed with light. The hologram of the Keeper grew larger. The choice has been made, the Keeper announced. The voice has found one who sacrifices for others. As Han lay bleeding on the floor, the station began to transform around them. Walls shifted and changed. New panels opened. And through it all, Jisoo held Han's hand, tears falling from her eyes. Outside, Admiral Sun's fleet engaged the jackal ships in battle, buying time for whatever was happening inside the ancient station. Blue light filled the chamber as Jisoo held Han close. Blood soaked her hands, but he was still breathing. His eyes were open, looking at her with pain, but also with trust. Stay with me, she whispered to him. Please. Around them, the station was changing. The walls moved and shifted. New panels opened. The voice device on the control panel glowed brighter and brighter. The jackals backed away from the light, confused and afraid. Even Raxus looked uncertain. What is happening? He demanded. The hologram of the Keeper grew until it filled half the room. The station recognizes a worthy user. The voice is awake. Jisoo looked up from Han. Save him, she begged the Keeper. I'll do anything you ask, but please save my friend. The Keeper's 4 arms moved in a strange pattern. A section of the floor next to Han slid open, and a pod rose from below. It looked like a bed made of crystal. Place him there, the Keeper said. With Raxus and his soldiers distracted by the station's transformation, Jisoo carefully moved Han to the crystal pod. As soon as he was inside, the pod glowed with soft green light. Han's eyes closed as if in sleep. He will heal, the Keeper said, but slowly. Now you must complete what you started. The voice device detached from the control panel and floated toward Jisoo. She stood and took it in her hands. Knowledge flowed into her mind, how the device worked, what it could do, what it would cost to use it. The voice can send truth across all communication systems in this sector, the Keeper explained. It can break through any blocks or barriers, but to control it fully, you must connect your mind to it. Captain Ta stepped forward, his face showing both fear and wonder. Jisoo, think about what you're doing. The jackals rule most of known space. If you turn them against you, they already are against us, Jisoo said. They've always been. They just let us think we had a choice. Ta looked at Han in the healing pod. I only wanted to protect our people. By betraying them? Jisoo asked. Before Tai could answer, Sektaru moved quickly across the room and grabbed the voice device from Jisoo's hands. "This power belongs to the strongest," he said, his golden eyes gleaming. "And that is the Jackals." Raxus laughed. "Well done, officer. Now give it to me." But Sektaru held the device away from his commander. "No, you would just use it to gain favor with the High Command. I have seen what they do with their power. It's wrong." Raxus growled in anger. "That is treason." "It's truth," Sektaru said. He looked at Jisoo. "I have watched your people. You are weak in body, but strong in spirit. Maybe you deserve a chance to be free." He handed the voice device back to Jisoo. Raxus roared and fired his weapon at Sektaru. The young jackal fell to the ground. Jisoo held the device tightly. "This ends now." She stepped onto the central platform where the Keeper's hologram stood. The voice device merged with her hands, becoming like liquid metal that flowed up her arms. It wasn't painful, but Jisoo could feel it connecting to her mind, her thoughts. "What should I do?" she asked the Keeper. "Share the truth as you know it," the Keeper answered. "The voice will carry your words to all who can hear." Jisoo closed her eyes. She thought of Earth, fallen under Jackal rule. She thought of other species forced to serve. She thought of Han, willing to die to save her. On the view screens of every ship in the battle outside, on communication devices across 3 star systems, her face appeared. When she spoke, her voice was clear and strong. "People of all worlds," she said, "I am Lieutenant Jisoo Kim of Earth, and I have something to tell you about the Jackal Confederacy." In the healing pod, Han's fingers twitched. His eyes opened slightly. Through the crystal, he watched as Jisoo began to reveal the truth to the galaxy. Jisoo stood in the center of the platform, her body glowing with blue light from the voice device. Her words spread across space faster than any normal signal could travel. "For 20 years, the Jackal Confederacy has ruled over humans and other species," she said. "They told us they brought peace and order. But I have seen the truth." As she spoke, images appeared in the minds of everyone who heard her voice. They saw jackal ships destroying peaceful worlds. They saw alien races forced to work in dangerous mines. They saw secret files showing how the jackals kept other species from developing new technology. On hundreds of worlds, people stopped what they were doing and listened. In space stations and ships, screens showed Jisoo's face as she shared the hidden history of the Jackal rule. In the chamber, Raxus watched with growing horror. "Stop her," he shouted to his soldiers. But when they tried to move toward Jisoo, the station's systems held them back with walls of blue energy. "You can't stop the truth," the Keeper's hologram said. Outside the station, the battle had paused. Every ship, both human and jackal, received Jisoo's broadcast. On Admiral Sun's flagship, the crew watched in amazement. "She did it," Sun whispered. "She found a way to be heard." On the lead Jackal warship, the crew looked at each other in confusion. Many of them had never known what their leaders had done to other worlds. Back in the chamber, Sektaru lay on the floor, wounded but still alive. He looked up at Captain Ta. "Did you know about all the things your people suffered?" Tay's face was pale. "Not all of it. I thought I was saving lives by cooperating." As Jisoo continued to speak, the voice device grew hotter. The Keeper's hologram flickered. "Warning," the Keeper said. "The human body is not designed to channel the voice for long periods. You must make a choice soon." Jisoo felt pain spreading through her body. The voice was using her life energy to power its broadcast. She had to decide what to do with the little time she had left. She could use the voice as a weapon, sending a signal that would disable all Jackal technology in the sector. This would let the human fleet win the battle outside, but it would kill many innocent Jackals who had no part in their leaders' crimes. Or she could call for peace, asking both sides to stop fighting and start talking. This might not end the Jackal rule, but it would save lives today. As she considered her choices, Jisoo looked at Han in the healing pod. What would he want her to do? Then she saw a third option. The Keeper had shared knowledge with her when she took the voice device. Among that knowledge was a code, a way to turn the voice from a one-way broadcast into a connection between minds. "I choose understanding," Jisoo said. She sent a new command through the voice. Suddenly, everyone who heard her could also hear each other. Human thoughts flowed to jackal minds. Jackal memories flowed to human minds. For the first time, the two species truly understood each other. The jackals felt human determination and hope. The humans felt jackal pride and strength. Both sides felt each other's pain, fear, and dreams. In the confusion, Raxus saw his chance. He broke free from the energy wall and ran toward the main control panel. From his pocket, he pulled a small bomb. "If I can't have this station, no one will," he shouted. Ta saw what was happening. Without thinking, he jumped at Raxus, grabbing his arm. "No more destruction," he yelled. They fought for control of the bomb. Ta managed to push Raxus away from the control panel, but the bomb was active now, beeping faster and faster. Jisoo watched from the platform, unable to move while connected to the voice. She had seconds to make her final choice, where to direct the voice's last burst of power before the bomb exploded. The fate of the station, the battle outside, and perhaps the entire war between humans and jackals now depended on what she would do next. Time seemed to slow as Jisoo made her choice. She focused all the remaining power of the voice on the bomb in Raxus' hand. A beam of blue light shot from her fingertips and surrounded the device. "What are you doing?" Raxus shouted as the bomb floated out of his grip. Jisoo didn't answer. Her strength was fading fast. Using the last of the voice's power, she created a bubble of energy around the bomb and sent it through the wall of the station into open space. The explosion lit up the darkness outside. The shock wave hit the station, making it shake, but the ancient structure held firm. As the voice device used up its power, the blue glow around Jisoo faded. She fell to her knees, exhausted but alive. The connection between minds across space weakened, but didn't break completely. Something had changed in the fabric of space itself. On the Jackal ships, crews stood down their weapons. Many of them had seen the truth in human minds and couldn't continue the fight. Some ships turned and left. Others stayed, waiting. In the control chamber, Raxus looked around in disbelief. His soldiers were no longer following his orders. Sektaru, despite his wound, had risen to his feet. "Commander Raxus," Sektaru said in a clear voice, "in the name of all jackals who seek truth, I remove you from command." Raxus roared and lunged at the younger jackal, but Ta stepped between them. For the first time in years, the human captain stood firm against jackal authority. "Enough," Ta said. "Too many have been hurt already." Jisoo watched from the platform as Raxus was surrounded by his own soldiers. The connection created by the voice had shown them the truth about their leader. They no longer wanted to follow him. The crystal healing pod began to glow brighter. With a soft hiss, it opened. Han sat up slowly, his wound healed but a scar visible on his chest. He looked around in confusion. "Jisoo, what happened?" She ran to him and helped him stand. "We did it, Han. We changed everything." The Keeper's hologram appeared beside them, smaller than before but still clear. "The voice has served its purpose," it said. "Now it must rest and recharge. It will be many years before it can be used again." "What happens now?" Jisoo asked. "That is for you and the others to decide," the Keeper answered. "This station will remain as a neutral space where all species can meet in peace." On Admiral Sun's flagship, communication systems came back online. The Admiral received messages from Jackal ships requesting to talk, not to surrender, but to discuss a new way forward. Over the next few days, representatives from both sides came to the predecessor station. In the same chamber where Jisoo had used the voice, humans and jackals sat together and began to work on a peace agreement. Jisoo and Han watched from the side as Admiral Sun met with Sektaru, who now spoke for many of the jackals. "It won't be easy," Han said. There's too much history between our peoples. But now we understand each other better, Jisoo replied. That's a start. Captain Tai approached them nervously. Lieutenant Kim, he said, I know I can never make up for what I did, but I want to help build something better. Jisoo looked at him for a long moment. Actions matter more than words, Captain. Show us who you really are through what you do next. As Tai walked away, the Keeper's hologram appeared one last time before Jisoo. The predecessors would be pleased, it said. You used knowledge to bring understanding, not just victory. Jisoo felt something strange in her mind. Echoes of the voice, fragments of predecessor knowledge that remained even after the connection ended. She would need time to understand it all. Outside the station, ships from other worlds began to arrive, drawn by the stories spreading across space. The news traveled from system to system. A human woman had whispered truth, and even the Jackals had heard. The galaxy would never be the same. Jisoo took Han's hand and looked out at the stars. Her simple words had started something that would change worlds. Sometimes, the quietest voice makes the loudest change. The end.